Did Hasbro do an oopsie? Did they accidentally upload a picture up to their Instagram or whatever that included a Nerf blaster that they weren't planning on officially revealing yet? And we know that because nobody publicly knows anything about this blaster, and then they immediately pulled down that picture, uploaded it with a different one that included a completely different blaster in its place? Well, let's talk about Nerf at New York Toy Fair 2019. So before I get too far into things, I should probably note that I'm not currently at New York Toy Fair 2019. I'm clearly in the Fuzzy Walrus Industries den, and well, that's because I can't afford to fly across the country. I live in Washington. It's in New York. I'm pretty much about as far away from that as I could possibly be, and I can't afford that kind of trip. I was invited by a bunch of different companies to schedule appointments and whatnot, and I had to turn them all down, which sucks. Every year I keep hoping that I might get a chance to go there, and it just, I don't make enough money, unfortunately. Obviously, I need to be able to pay bills and keep a roof over my head and afford this space and eat. I mean, obviously, I need to consume some kind of calories in order to keep up this kind of physique. That being said, I do have friends who are at New York Toy Fair 2019, and this particular friend, Buff Daddy Nerf, has graciously given me permission to use his footage and pick his brain about what he can publicly talk about at New York Toy Fair. And, well, there's some stuff. Well, no real surprises, but we should probably clear up a couple of things that happened in all of the other news videos that I've done. But most importantly, before anything, you should know that Buff Daddy Nerf does now run blasterhub.com. So, most importantly, you should check out blasterhub.com if you want anything like from Toy Fair and beyond. The guy buys like every single blaster there is and opens it up and uploads high-resolution photos of the internals to the internet on BlasterHub. So, yeah, you should totally check out that website. And thank them profusely for letting me use this footage. Up first is the Nerf Titan, the 50-round drum-equipped Nerf minigun thing that is really freaking cool and really freaking expensive. It's gonna retail at $100 US, and what do you get for that $100 US? Well, you get a big frig-off, very comfy-looking minigun, essentially, that, well, it does fire, the drum works really well, but unfortunately it has a very lethargic rate of fire, which we kind of expected, because most of this blaster is for show, while people like me who would love to have that kind of shell to do all sorts of deadly things to will buy, and kids will absolutely love it. For people looking for raw performance potential, this is definitely not it, although you're probably still going to buy one anyway because you're going to want that 50-round drum. Now, the slow rate of fire does mean that the 50-round drum does last a very long time, which means if you're going to use this thing for, like, cover fire for HVZ or something like that, it is definitely capable of doing that. A fast rate of fire isn't always a good thing. In fact, I usually like lethargically firing blasters because if I'm going to use them in like a cover situation to apply cover fire to an area, yeah, imagine if you had 100 darts but you're only firing 1 dart a second, but you're firing it at a corner, and somebody could come around that corner, but you're still firing darts every second. That's a lot better than firing 100 darts in 1 second and getting one person out, or completely suppressing a corner and preventing the enemy from pushing forward. So honestly, I have no complaints, but yes, it is a rather lethargic rate of fire, so that's a bummer. Up next is the Zombie Strike Revoltinator, and it is unfortunately a semi-auto $50 rifle. It's a Strife reshell, and well, its main gimmick is that it looks really cool. If you like the junkyard scientist aesthetic that they're going for with the Revoltinator, well, you be pleased note it has all sorts of sound effects and all sorts of lights and sounds on it. And honestly, the lights and sounds are really cool, although, did they really have to light up the Nerf logo? Like, it's lit up really well, but did they have to light that up? And it's rather expensive, but for kids and for somebody looking to modify it, like, I want a stripe, but I want it big, presumably comfortable, I can't tell because I don't have one in my hand, and I want it to make all sorts of sound. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Revoltinator. That's what I want. So, that is an option for people, and I'm hoping it does well, because there's not a whole lot of Zombie Strike coming on. In fact, I see absolutely nothing about Doomlands. It might finally be dead, which is unfortunate, but I think all we really got last year was like a single little tiny scoped pistol that nobody cared about. We have confirmation that the Nerf Deadpool Chimichanga is a foam chimichanga. Called it! Nailed it! Yeah! Boom! Yes, it is in fact a foam chimichanga with a Chronos reshell. many Deadpool Chronoses do we need? I just don't understand this, but it's coming up with some Deadpool movie, I'm assuming, and it comes with a foam chimichanga, so what more could you possibly want? You're gonna buy this, it comes with a foam chimichanga. They know their audience, because nobody wants to get tagged out by a chimichanga. Also interesting to note that maybe the best blaster that Hasbro showed off from their Nerf line this year, at least at Toy Fair, is the Percys. Because this thing doesn't look like it's that big, if you compare it to some other stuff they have on the shelf here, and it looks really good. But what's even better is that, well, I don't have video of this, because unfortunately it was gone when Buff Daddy went to go fire this, and I don't have permission to use anybody else's video. It fires really fast. It basically fires exactly like a Prometheus. So, I hate to say it, I think it's going to be better than the Nemesis in every way, in my opinion. I know everybody liked the Nemesis because you can hold it like this, like a standard rifle, and you could shove 5,000 rounds into it, and it would jam after like 4 shots. I never really liked the Nemesis, personally. I didn't like the aesthetics, I didn't like the ergonomics of it. I do own one, and unfortunately, I'm glad this came out, because I think it's better in every way. Yes, it holds less ammo, and yes, that fire rate is absolutely insane, but it uses a hopper, so it's going to be really easy to fill up, and it's compact, and it includes a rechargeable battery. A really nice one that's built into the blaster. So yes, it does cost $100, but this kind of seems like it's going to be the best in show from Hasbro and Nerf. At least if we didn't have some other things to talk about. But first, new Overwatch stuff. Like Overwatch Micro Shots Season 2. This time we've got Roadhog's... That's not Roadhog's gun. That doesn't look anything like Roadhog's gun. I couldn't even tell it was Roadhog's gun until I saw the little chain hanging out the front, which, I mean, that's kind of cool, but it looks like... whatever. Not important, because next up we got Lucio's Sonic gun thing, and that looks pretty good. I haven't seen it from the most appropriate angle, which would be from the front. I really want to see how that goes, because it should look like a speaker, like a subwoofer kind of thing, and I'm really hoping they still have that kind of aesthetic. But look at the paint detail. It looks really good. But the one I'm most excited for is, of course, May's Cryo Freeze Blaster, because I like May. I like everything about May. May was the only reason why I bought Overwatch to begin with, and she's like the best character that's existed in any kind of shooter in a long, long time. It's not good enough to make me play more Overwatch, but May's awesome. And this is an awesome looking blaster, and I will definitely get one. But that's not the only Overwatch things. While we don't have any confirmation that any new Overwatch blasters, at least these are the ones I saw, Hasbro is also putting out new Overwatch goggles, which means you might be able to get your hands on and say maybe the Reaper mask by itself. I don't think these are meant to be like rival masks. They're just kind of goggles, but we got Reinhardt's helmet, and it does feature a flip down little green visor thing, which is pretty nifty. And it also features Tracer's goggles. Okay. And I'm sure Soldier 76 goggles are in there somewhere. There's no way they're not going to make Soldier 76 goggles, but the fact they're not here means to tell me they're probably going to make Soldier 76 rifle and include the goggles with it. And it's going to be really expensive. Just have a feeling. And also, if you want to get to Reaper's shotgun, now we have confirmation that's going to be sold by itself. Although I have no idea where any of this stuff is going to be sold. I would assume pretty much everywhere. But let's talk about the real meat. We had everything else. Now we get to sink our teeth into this thing. What is it? We have a name. We know there's something called the Nerf Elite Trilogy DS-15. This, well, let's kind of use our minds here. In the back of it, we obviously got something that looks like sludge fire shells. It might not be the same shells, but they look like sludge fire shells. They could be different, but I'm willing to bet they're just sludge fire shells. And there's 5 of them back. They're kind of stacked, which means the rear stock is probably going to be pretty decently thick, which means the blaster itself is probably going to be pretty decently thick. On the bottom, we clearly see a pump grip, and it's in a very awkward position. However, due to the fact that the quad rod right next to it is primed, I'm guessing that this blaster is also primed. So, while it still doesn't look that good, like the silhouette of this thing looks like garbage, it has a pump grip. That's kind of important, I feel. And on the side, we clearly have a jam door, a rather large jam door. A jam door that is the size of one of the shells, if not bigger. So, let's see here. We could see that this blaster is, of course, a shell-fed, pump-action shotgun blaster. Shotguns are popular. I don't see any other shotgun in the line, and there's no way Nerf would not have a shotgun come out. And yet, how exactly does this thing work? We don't know. I'm making this video right now. By the time I upload it, we could possibly know everything, so keep an eye out in those comment section for me to tell you if something pops up. But as far as we know, this has not been officially revealed yet. And, wow, I really hope it's an internal magazine sledge fire. I'm really hoping. Now, I wouldn't get my hopes up too much. For some reason, this entire blaster really gives me that weird, oh, I want to like it, but my gut reaction is this thing's going to be terrible. I'm going to keep that feeling for when I actually get my hands on it, but I'm really not feeling this one right now, even though it's something that a lot of us has wanted for a very long time. And we didn't really get anything like this until Heath Heel made that pump-action X-Zeus shotgun, and then, of course, G-Dop made the Spring Thunder. So, I don't know how I feel about this one. I'm really hoping it's good, but I have this weird, the location of the pump grip is and where the ejection port is and the mechanics for doing that. I have a feeling it's going to be not so bueno. I'm really hoping I'm wrong, but I just have this weird feeling in my big gut. And what's really curious about this entire situation is that they originally uploaded this picture, and then they replaced it with this one. So, I don't think anybody, like, that walked the show floor knows what this is. I'm guessing that was from earlier in the day. They had a lot of personalities and stuff there. A lot of things were probably disclosed to certain people under a non-disclosure agreement. So, there are people who probably gotten their hands on this. Maybe it wasn't a functional model. I don't know, but they clearly haven't said anything about this Trilogy blaster. And it might just be, again, there was no Alpha Strike line or anything there. That doesn't mean that this stuff isn't happening, because there are a lot of blasters that aren't at Toy Fair that come out anyway. And they are complete surprises to us. So don't think this is all we're going to get. Of course, the Megalodon was also there, and that was one of the cooler blasters that Buff Daddy got his hands on. He really, really liked it, and I had a good feeling about that Megalodon. So, definitely a blaster you're going to want to keep your eyes out for. It looks really compact. It's about the size, at least, you know, lengthwise, as the expanded Bulldog. So, yeah, I would definitely keep my eyes out for the Megalodon. I think that's going to be an absolute monster blaster that people are really going to like. Even if you don't like Mega, it's not going to be very long until somebody converts it to shoot normal darts. That being said, it might still contain, like, the same internals that the Bulldog had, which are not really prone to taking many upgrades. Hope that's not true. And as of this video, and hopefully I don't completely get dumped in the comments, because there's a lot more information that comes out in the next 2 or 3 hours after I upload this video. It's currently 5 in the morning on Monday, so you're going to see this video in like 2 or 3 hours for me to edit, upload everything. That might just be what we get for Toy Fair from Nerf, but again, that's obviously not everything. We know of a lot more. There's a lot of stuff that we didn't get to see that we have actual product information for. And since so many of those products that were originally leaked from, like, the supplier, the distributor level, that were actually at the show and were all, proven to be true, yeah, I think it's fair to say we're going to get stuff like the Rival Orange Coffee Solo. Don't even know what that is, but it's safe to say we're probably going to get it. But let me know what you're excited for about Toy Fair and Nerf in the very coming months. Things like, if you want to get your hands on the Fortnite blaster, they're already up for pre-order on Amazon, Walmart, and Hasbro Pulse. So you may want to kind of keep an open mind about getting that kind of stuff, because apparently, like, the Scar, we're going to have by the end of March, and the Suppressed Pistol shortly after that. And the Overwatch, like, all these blasters are coming out really, really soon. I'm assuming these blasters that we're talking about right now, like the Titan and stuff like that, we're probably going to see those probably around June, July, if not way sooner. Because the end of August, September is usually when we get the stuff that they're going to slate for winter or even early 2020. And that's where we get all sorts of crazy stuff going to happen. I'm guessing we just haven't seen anything from Doomlands, and I hope Doomlands isn't actually dead, because I like the aesthetics. They just need to put out a good blaster in the Doomlands, and a couple of good blasters, because besides the Desolator, there hasn't really been a whole lot. But again, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Otherwise, I'm Walcom S7, and don't worry, I have plenty more to talk about Toy Fair. Especially, I have not even covered my favorite blaster that has been revealed yet, so stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one.
You gotta